Welcome back to the revolution and welcome to Virgo season manifestation. So I've been fidgeting for the better part of an hour. Been ready for a while. Just didn't look quite the way I wanted. And we went back to it and back to it and back to it and back to it until I got to the point where I realized what I really needed to do was just move away a little. I needed to back away from it all, especially the camera, especially the lights, everything. The mirror, the expectation. It's the Virgo video. It has to be perfect. And so here we are, and that is probably the most trite thing you can say about Virgos. Perfectionists stuck in their own heads, anxiety ridden. And yet we know that they are considered by most to be the most intelligent sign. So how does that work? Well, it's a time of a lot of information. It's a time when connectivity is very high. All the things that you've learned in the recent past become identifiable now. There's a lot that's been going on, a lot that's been given, a lot that's been taken away, a lot that needs to be restructured, and we have been moving so inward and outward, that we haven't taken the time to really analyze any of it. And that's what happens this time of year, is that you take everything that you have experienced so far and you crunch it and you look for the lessons and you look for the healing in the lessons, which is ultimately what Virgo season is about and what we need to focus on within ourselves right now. So you've been out in Leo season, perhaps you picked up a few scars, perhaps you even got bit a few times here and there, perhaps you've been out hunting, perhaps you've been hunted. And now you need healing, you need rest, you need comfort, you need home. You want to go home. So here we are, Virgo is home. And what happens when you go home? Your mom takes care of you. The Virgin Mary, the Virgo Virgin, this is all tied together. It is about the care that you get from your mom. It's home cooking. It's your mom's food. It's rest. And that sounds weird, right? Because they move so fast and it seems like their brains never rest. So it's like, how is it about rest? It's about rest for everyone else. You benefit from the way they are all year round, and now you're going to get to see what they go through to provide that level of comfort for you. So when you are around them and you are subconsciously looking for rest, they're providing it. When you are looking for comfort and healing, when you are looking for the intelligence that's required to figure out even where the healing should begin, they're doing it. And now this season you get to sort of pull the curtain back and you get to see how the machines of Oz really work and what the wizard or the hermit has to do to maintain that level of connectivity, intelligence, attention to detail, and then be able to bring all that together and give it to you as something that is worth your while, something that will help you, something that in some way either furthers what you wanted or what they wanted for you. And usually the best thing about Virgos is what they want for you is what you should ideally want for yourself. They're never looking to you to provide them with something. They want to help you further whatever you've got going on, but they don't need you to do anything for them. And I think in most relationships, we get so used to any sort of relationship, be it your parent, your loved one, it doesn't matter, your significant other, your child. We're always stuck in these sort of emotionally transactional relationships where we're doing for each other. And the Virgin is just not that. The Virgo doesn't transact that way because it's a virgin sign. It doesn't know sex, so it doesn't know the complexities and the ugliness and the grime that comes when people start to do things for one another. This is often why they can also be accused of using people, because to them, they're not seeing it that way at all, but it can look that way from the outside, because what their ultimate goal is just to kind of help you do whatever it is that you want to do. Now, how can that be dangerous? It can be dangerous if what you're doing is you're enabling someone. So this season, you'll also see where it is that you may feel that you are healing someone, but really you're just holding them back, because your comfort that you're providing is actually enabling them to do more of what is destructive, not only for them, but also for you. And that's another thing about Virgo season, is that you realize how connected you are to the people around you, because everyone is looking to each other for that healing and that help. And why is that? Because your anxiety is an all-time high as well. So this is what I mean about being able to look behind the curtain. The rest of the year, Virgos do this, and we're all kind of just like, there's this tacit acceptance and gratitude for their work. And you're just like, yay, thank you, bye, see you again. That was really smart what you told me. I used that. Thank you for that. Or thank you for when I needed to talk to you the other day. Or thank you for that recommendation. But now, and you will do that for others, and they will do that for you. But this season, you also get to take a look at what it requires mentally to be able to provide that. And it's a lot. They carry heavy burdens. So prepare yourself. It is a season of great joy. The fall turns, the colors turn, everything is just gorgeous. Nature has a party. The party continues into the depths of Libra season. But we start here. We have the gentle Virgin Mother who is understanding and intelligent and wants the best for us, to guide us through the death of summer and the beginning of winter. And it's done with such style and with such grace and with such beauty. And those are all things that are associated with Virgo. So when you're looking out at the colors beginning to turn, and you see these really subtle, sort of beautiful moments appearing where, the light turns during Virgo season, it's just gorgeous. And all of a sudden you have this fall light, because the sun has moved, and it's just, and then that with the colors, and everyone is, they're really taking a lot more time in how they look. And let's put it this way, I took off 5 accessories before I started. Everyone is paring down to this essential sort of beauty, that has to do, essentially the beauty of a Virgo is the beauty of nature. It is, without question, you don't look at a tree and think, oh, that tree could be prettier. Or if you are thinking that, then there's probably more wrong there that we should talk about, but not here. So it is the beauty of nature. It's an undeniable sort of beautiful, right? Like, I love that Beyonce is the sort of quintessential Virgo, because it's an undeniable sort of beauty. You can say anything you want, but you can't say she's not beautiful. You can't say she's not dedicated. You can't say she's not committed. You can't, there are absolutes when it comes to Virgo, and they always come through on those. So it's comforting because you know what you're getting into. It can also be harrowing because you know what you're getting into, and yet you wish it was more. So a lot of times you will feel as a Virgo as if you have to pay the price for not wanting what somebody else wants from you. Why don't you want what I want? But what they want isn't for them. They want something from you. They want you to sacrifice something of yours when you're sitting there going, why don't you just do that yourself? Or if that's what's important to you, why don't you restructure your life so that's a thing for you? I don't get it. And it's a time of year where we get to see that about ourselves as well, right? So I was just having this conversation earlier with someone. We were talking about Joe Budden and how he's this perfect example of the Virgo inability to take responsibility for things, and how he'll just deny all the stuff he's done and then go back and kind of admit it, but kind of deny it, but kind of admit it. And so that is also the fear. The fear is that we become so immersed in finding out what's going on with us and finding out what's going on between us and other people that we get stuck in like a loop in our head. And once you get stuck in a loop in your head, it becomes very easy to trick yourself out of logical conclusions. You can talk yourself into a place where you really haven't done anything, when it's like really obvious that you have, and you know you have, but somehow logic gets skewed when you're circling, and so all of that happens now. You get a lot of information, you already had a lot of information, you have this need to crunch all of it, you have this need to get really clean, you have this need to get really neat, you have this need to be really perfect in a lot of ways. And you also get to see the strain, the mental strain, the commitment, the hard work that goes into that up here. And Leo season is not necessarily the season of mental hard work. It's, we've discussed this. It's about expending that energy that you had saved and was in your shell in Cancer season, getting out there and like really using it. And now you've come back with all those spoils and all those experiences and all the game that you hunted and everything that you got, and you put it in front of you and you look at it and you experience what it feels like to have people come to you and say, hey, that stuff you just got, can I have some of it? Or can you maybe help me understand this because you did that now? And understand as the season progresses that the way people are treating you is how you are treating the Virgos in your life, and how everyone is treating the Virgos in their life, how they're being treated by everyone. And so it would be great if we could walk out of this season with a bit more compassion for a sign that is really misunderstood, and sort of help them exhibit their most beneficial, helpful, satisfying qualities to keep them from falling into that place where they can loop. Because as long as they feel helpful and useful and appreciated, they don't do it. It's when they do everything they're supposed to and they're still met with pain, with people who just refuse to be grateful, refuse to recognize the effort that's gone into it, then they can become disillusioned. They can become angry and sort of bitter about it, and they can start to think about it and think about it and think about it. And then once they get, in that space, then it's really easy for them to lie to themselves. So watch that within yourself as well. Don't get stuck. If you keep analyzing and putting it away, analyze it, put it away. Cool, it came up again. Good, look at it, put it away. Don't get stuck in the pettiness of it. Just keep filing things away, filtering them out, identifying them, sorting them. As long as you are able to keep your focus on that, which is basically the focus of, is this grain worthy of eating or storing? Good. How much of it is going to be eaten? How much of it needs to be stored? How much of it needs to be stored for how long? And what does that mean? What conditions does it need to be in? Who needs to build what to create those conditions? Those people need to do that. Are they going to need to eat as well? Yes. How many people do you need? How many hours is it going to take? All of this is a Virgo mind. This is what you're going to be doing this month. And just make sure that you don't start doing that with people, although it will become very easy to just be like, oh, you're having this. Here, let's do this at this time. Here, you can go here. How about you? Oh, you like me, but I don't really like you that much. Okay, let me put you here. Oh, I really like you, but you don't really like me right now. Let me put you here. You can become a bit of a chess player in Virgo season with people, their emotions, their feelings, especially if you run a little bit cold anyway. So watch it. Be careful. There's not much... I was saying there's not much advice I can give you outside of that. Virgo season is a season that you have to ride out. You have to completely give into how fast you're going to be working and how easily you will be slipping into quicksand if you allow yourself. It is walking a tightrope really quickly with total focus while keeping perfect posture and looking great. Go. That's why it took me an hour to fidget to do the. See, once it was, once I had it, Go. Just walk the tightrope. Boom, done. We're already done. But getting to the point where you're ready to walk the tightrope really fast and you're all the way together takes a minute. And so it is about moving fast. It is about go. It is about keeping your balance. It is about doing the thing. But it's also about all the prep that goes into it. So when you step up to that mark, you know exactly what you're doing. It reminds me of this place where I went actually with a Virgo to play. You flick the thing across at the other team and you try to knock their stuff out of the way. And we were playing with a bunch of his friends, and I didn't really know how to play, but I was like, okay, I can do this. I guess it's like a small version of shuffleboard or something. So I was like, listen, I don't really know how to play. Why don't you just, when it's my turn, just point out who I got to knock out, and then, we'll just go from there. And he laughed at me. He was just like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, like, what's the problem? He was like, all right. So he would just point them out and I would just knock them out of the way. And his friend that was on the other team at some point came over and was like, so her parents are both military. Like, I can totally see it. But that's not what he was seeing. He wasn't seeing like that discipline of like getting up to the line and just like going for it. What he was seeing is that Virgo moon. If you're completely committed to what you're doing, you know exactly what your goal is, you know exactly what you're going for, it becomes very easy to execute. But before you ever make it there, you have to be right with yourself to the point where you know you can do it. And that has to do with all sorts of prep. And I think Virgos are always prepping themselves as people, even if there's nothing particular that they're aiming at the moment. It's always about that evolution and that prep. So when you do get into any situation, you can handle it perfectly and get the job done. And handling it perfectly and getting the job done are two very difficult things. And to do them together is nearly impossible, which is why you also may feel yourself falling into a melancholy state towards the end of Virgo season, because you're like, I'm trying so hard and this just is not, I'm just not able to keep everything afloat. I'm just not able to keep all these teacups spinning. They keep falling. And every Virgo needs someone in their life who loves them truly to just push all those teacups down, like over at some point and stop the whole show and just be like, how do you feel? Let's go outside. Like, let's step out of your head for a second, please, because this is a little much. So when you get to that point where you're like, there's too many fires, I can't put them all out, I can't walk this tightrope perfectly, my posture is waning, I'm sweating, my makeup is running, like I'm not there. That's when you have to realize that you can also just jump because there's a net. And the fact that you don't know there's a net is just because it's Virgo season and they don't give themselves that option, which is why they're able to get it done. But everyone else has an option, just they don't. So if you're a Virgo watching this, just do, what you do and watch everybody else try to do what you do and be nice. Be nice. They're not used to it. They're not as good at it as you are. So just, be kind. And for everyone else, walk the rope, but realize that unlike Virgos, you actually have a net and you can jump when you need to and take a shower and redo your makeup and start again. Or, change your clothes, take a shower and start again. For the Virgos who feel like they need to jump off the rope, but they just can't. Well, that is the essential issue after all, isn't it? Well, if you are going through that right now where you're at the point where you really feel like you just can't keep it going, I think you're one of the Virgos that's reached the point where you have to learn how to forgive yourself for not being able to walk the rope all the time. And realizing that if you jump, you're not like committing suicide, you're just jumping into a net. Like there's something there, it will catch you. Being perfect isn't a death sentence, you know? So you will explore those themes as well. But mainly, it is a season of extreme beauty, and the beauty is used to soften the blow of what is essentially a painful time of year. And that also says a lot about Virgos. They teach you things, and they're so beautiful that you can stomach what they're teaching you, even though it feels like they're breaking your bones. But they're so pretty to look at, and they're so sensual that it like relieves you a little bit of what they're putting you through. And it's always for your good, even if they're breaking your bones to reset them. It's always for your good. It's just not how people like to hang out. You know, they don't adhere. Virgo season and Virgos don't adhere to what we would like socially for people to be like, which is why Libras are then so social and so friendly, because they're a direct reaction to Virgos, and Virgos are not like that. I mean, they can be very friendly, they can be very nice, they're very kind and compassionate, but there is a sort of iciness or a removal that is necessary when you have to do work and think and crunch data and get things done and sorted. You don't have time to be all like Libra, like, hey, which is why by the time you get to Libra season, you know, Virgo comes into Libra's office with all the facts and all the figures and all the sorts and all the charts and all the things, and it's like, I did all the things, and this is what it looks like, and this is what, and this is what you need to tell them. And Libra's like, thank you, bye. Hello, come in. So you are gonna get this, and you are gonna get this, you know. And Virgo just doesn't want that job ever. Like, just do whatever you need. Here's the data. Bye. Go. I love it. I love you all. I love that I did this for you, and it's awesome. Good. Bye. Go. And so that gruffness of like, I got the job done, and it means I love you, so don't ask me to show you in other stupid ways. That's also a part of Virgo season. You will feel all of this at once, like a wall closing in on you. And you will not be able to run from it because it's in your mind. And you will appreciate Virgos more and more as the season goes on, because now that you can empathize with them and you know what's going to be happening, you will find yourself in moments going, oh my God, is this what their whole life is like? Yes, this is what their whole life is like. Be nice to them. And that's about it. The videos start going up in a few days as soon as I get back from Atlanta. There are still tickets for Atlanta. I'm not sure why it's showing that there aren't, but I'm going to open them back up just in a second here. There are tickets still up for Toronto, and I'm thinking I will do a trip to London in April. So I'm actually going to put that up super early. But that will all be in the info box below, and I'll see you for the monthly videos. Take it easy. Take care of yourself. When you need to jump off the rope and you're laying in the net, that can be bathing, that can be going and getting some new clothes, that can be getting your hair redone, that can be connecting with people that you've always really liked but you haven't had time to really, go in depth with. Jumping onto the net is about taking the time to not put on the show and doing stuff just so you can recharge. So, all right, I love you guys. I'll see you in the videos.